Alright guys, today we have a 2008 Hyundai Veracruz and we're gonna do the rear brake pads which are in there and the disc which is called the rotor. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take number 14, we're gonna remove this bolt here and we're gonna remove the one on the top there, and once you have it loose you can remove them both. This is what the bolts look like. These are number 14, so you need a 14 socket with a ratchet, or you could use a 14 wrench, and they should be, once you loosen them up, they should be pretty free to come out. Alright, so next, once we have that out, what we can do is we can get a screwdriver and we're gonna pry this out of there. Sometimes you have to compress the piston a little bit in there. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go get a screwdriver and we're gonna pull this out of there. Alright, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna put the screwdriver in there and we're gonna try to get this caliper out. Alright guys, my phone rang, so I'm back. Alright, so this is the caliper. You have the caliper out. Alright guys, so I'm back. So what we have here is we have the rotor out, the caliper out. Next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go back here. There's two more bolts back here, which we're gonna remove for this bracket. And they're also number 14. Alright, so these bolts was tough to loosen out. I thought I had my camera on, but my camera was off. That was a big mistake. So I got the top one loose. The bottom one's loose also. They're corroded in there, you know, this bolt's never been opened. They've never been out. First time taking out these bolts. See that? You hear that? That's all the rust clogging up everything. There you go. That's one. That's number 2. That's the second bolt I'm getting out. Let me move my camera a little bit this way so this thing is ready to come out. Alright, so next we're gonna pull this thing off. There we have the bracket. These bricks are stuck in there. I don't even know how they were working in there. Next, what I'll do is I'm gonna hammer this, tap this rotor right here, and this rotor should come out. Let me go grab a hammer and we'll move the camera a little bit this way. And I got my hammer. So all you do is gently hit that rotor and it comes out. There we have it. We have the rotors out and it has emergency shoes in there. You always want to look at the emergency shoe. They look pretty good. We're gonna leave those alone. Alright guys, so next what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean this hub a little bit right here. Doesn't have to be shiny, but make sure there's no rust on this thing. Alright, just like that. Then we have the new rotor. This is the new disc, and what we're gonna do is make sure you clean off the surface here because it comes with oil to prevent rust. And we're gonna do one more thing is, you see this old rotor here? We're gonna take out that little rubber piece right there. So all you do is you poke a hole through the hole and it should come out through the other end. So I have that out. I put the thing on the floor because it's heavy, and all you do is You stick the new one in there, and that's it. All right, and you do want to make sure the rotor is the same size, it looks the same. We have that in there. So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna go get my bracket, which has these old brakes in there. I am going to remove these brakes. I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna clean the surface, and we're gonna install the new hardware kit. Alright, so I'm going to remove this hardware kit here, and we'll install a new one. It's looking terrible condition. There they go. I'm gonna clean this surface with a brush. What you wanna do is you wanna take a wire brush and you wanna clean all this, because you want the new brakes to sit flush. So if the hardware kit doesn't sit flush, your brakes are not gonna sit flush. So I have that in there. I'll be right back. I'm gonna clean all this properly and I'm gonna come back. Alright guys, so I have the new hardware kit. All you do is you stick that in there and push it down just like that. And then you do the same thing with the opposite side. Like that. What I like to do is I like to tap this down. Alright, it came out. Let me get it back into place. The reason why I like to tap it down is sometimes they stay up a little bit and the new brakes doesn't go in there like they're supposed to, okay? So tap them down, make sure they're sitting flush in there, nice and smooth, like this one's up. And what I like to do is I just like to put it down like that on a hard surface. You can tap it down. Same thing on the opposite side. Alright, so we'll do the same thing on this side. There you go. I'm gonna go get my brakes and I'm gonna come right back. Alright guys. So I have my brakes in there. Make sure you file the brakes if you need to. File the edges of the brake pads so the pad can move in there freely, because I noticed how tight these brakes was, the old ones that I took out. And I'm going to show you what I did, and that way you guys know where to file from. Let me just get this in there and then I'll show you guys. Oh man, this thing is rusted. Alright, so the problem is this bolt doesn't want to go in there. That's the reason why I didn't want it to come out. Thanks, Hyundai. So what I'll do here is take a file, I'll clean up this. Even the rust is inside this. Alright, so this is just like a little sandpaper. And let me see if I can get this one in there. Alright, even this one is terrible. So we'll be right back. Alright, so I was able to clean it a little bit. And I'm just trying to catch some threads here now. See how rough that is? I had the rotor and everything on there, but if you haven't had it on yet, what you can do is you can clean the inner bore of this, where the bolt goes through. So let me tighten this and then I'll show you guys. Make sure it's nice and tight. That's it. Once I have that tight, I'm done with that. And I'm gonna do one thing is I'm gonna take out this brake pad. You see how this brake pad is jammed up? I don't want that. So I'm gonna take out this brake pad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to file this a little bit, the edges here. Alright, so I'm going to do it both sides. Sometimes you can just scrape the paint off. I'll give you a little bit of free play. And let me see if this goes in better now. Little better, but I'm gonna smooth it out a little bit more. And let me show you guys. This is the one that fits in there very good, and that's what you want. There you go. You see how this pad moves in freely? That's how it's supposed to be, and this one doesn't. So I'm gonna file that one a little bit more, and I'm gonna come back. So I'm gonna file this a little bit more. And that should be it, okay? I just don't want to have those brake pads in there super tight. That's not how this is supposed to be. They need some kind of free play so they can back off when you're not applying the brakes. Right? And I'm going to put this back in there again. Hopefully this time is enough, and if I'm happy, I'm going to leave it there. If I'm not happy, we're gonna file some more. And there you go. I'm happy. Alright. Next, what we're gonna do is we're going to compress this caliper piston, alright? And I'm gonna go get grease and my compress tool. Alright, so I'm back. Usually to compress this you have to put a brake pad in there, but since on the back cars there's only one piston and my tool is just the perfect size for it to hold on to the piston. It's just the same diameter almost, and I don't need to do that, right? Next, what I'll do is I'll put some grease here on both sides of these brakes, and I like to check inside this. These are smooth, nice and smooth. That's how this is supposed to be, alright? They have pretty good grease in this. I'm gonna leave those alone. And next, what you do is make sure your cable is straight like that. It's not twisted like that. That's gonna create blockage in the brakes. Alright, that was a hammer. I got scared. We have that there. Next, we'll take out our number 14s that belongs here. We're gonna put both of those in. Make sure this little pin is aligned with that groove. Alright, after that, we can take our ratchet. And we can tighten this here. Tighten that on the top. Make sure it's nice and tight. And you can double check everything. I got both of these tight and both of these tied out. So pretty much that's all there is. You can turn this rotor, and after that we'll test drive it. And that's it. That's how you do the rear brakes on this car. This is a 08 Hyundai Veracruz. And that's it, we're done.